Every day, you are teaching people how to treat you not with your words, but through your actions, your boundaries, and what you tolerate. If you constantly say it's okay, when someone disrespects you, you are teaching them that your respect is optional. When you stay silent in moments you should speak up, you're teaching them that your voice doesn't matter. People don't always learn from what you say, they learn from what you allow. The truth is, you don't get in life what you deserve, you get what you accept. When you respect yourself, when you hold your boundaries, when you stop giving your time to those who drain you, you're sending a message, I value myself. And slowly, the world starts treating you with the same respect you give yourself. Don't be afraid to walk away from what doesn't honor you. It's not pride, it's self-worth. You can be kind without being a doormat, loving without losing yourself, and patient without being taken for granted. You teach others how to treat you every single day, so make sure the lesson is clear. I am worthy of respect, love, and peace, and I will not accept less than that. Your actions set the standard. Every day, through the choices you make and the behaviors you allow, you are quietly teaching people how to treat you. You may not realize it, but others are constantly observing how you respond to kindness, to disrespect, to neglect, to appreciation. The way you carry yourself sends a message louder than any words ever could. When you allow others to cross your boundaries without consequence, you are silently giving permission for that behavior to continue. When you stay silent in the face of unfair treatment, you are teaching them that your peace can be taken lightly. People mirror the energy you project. If you treat yourself as if you're unworthy of respect, you'll find yourself surrounded by people who believe the same. But when you hold yourself with quiet confidence, when you value your time, your feelings, and your principles, others begin to do the same. Respect doesn't begin with others, it begins with you. The world simply reflects what you believe about yourself. It's easy to say, I want to be respected, but respect isn't demanded through words, it's earned and reinforced through consistent actions. If you set a standard of honesty, you attract honest people. If you set a standard of patience, you create calm around you. But if you lower your standards to please others, you end up teaching them that your boundaries can be negotiated. Every time you compromise your values just to keep someone in your life, you're showing them that you don't believe your standards are worth upholding. Actions are powerful teachers. When you walk away from situations that no longer serve you, you're not being rude or cold, you're teaching others that your peace is not for sale. When you forgive but refuse to forget lessons learned, you're showing that you can be compassionate without being naive. When you choose to remain calm in chaos, you're proving that maturity is strength, not weakness. These behaviors create a blueprint for how people interact with you. You can't control what others do, but you can control what you accept. Every time you stand up for yourself with grace, you reset the tone of your environment. When you make it clear that gossip, manipulation, or disrespect have no space around you, people either rise to meet your standards or fall away naturally. That is the quiet power of self-respect. It filters your life without argument or explanation. Your actions today are shaping the kind of energy you'll live with tomorrow. The respect you expect begins with the respect you practice. When you show the world that you honor yourself, your time, your heart, and your peace, it learns to honor you in return. Because ultimately, how you treat yourself sets the tone for how everyone else will treat you. Boundaries define respect. They are not walls built to keep people out, but lines drawn to protect your peace, your energy, and your self-worth. Too often, people mistake boundaries for selfishness, but the truth is, boundaries are acts of self-respect. They are how you teach the world that your time, your emotions, and your mental space matter. When you learn to say no, when you step back from what drains you, and when you make your needs known without apology, you are not being difficult, you are simply honoring yourself. Every healthy relationship, whether personal or professional, is built on the foundation of mutual respect. That respect begins when both sides understand where one person ends and the other begins. Without boundaries, lines blur, expectations rise, and resentment grows. You begin to feel taken for granted, not because others are cruel, but because you allowed your kindness to become endless access. People can't read your mind, they learn how far they can go based on what you permit. By setting clear limits, you give them the gift of clarity. You show them how to engage with you respectfully, and in return, you create space for healthier, more honest connections. Boundaries also define who you are when no one is watching. They protect your integrity, your purpose, and your focus. When you don't set them, the world has a way of consuming your time and energy without asking. You start saying yes when you mean no, showing up for others when you're exhausted, and carrying burdens that aren't yours to hold. You begin to shrink to fit spaces you've outgrown, just to avoid conflict or disappointment. But every time you ignore your boundaries, you chip away at your own sense of worth. The truth is, if you don't protect your peace, no one else will. Setting boundaries isn't about rejection, it's about balance. It's about understanding that you can be kind and still say no, you can love deeply and still demand space, and you can help others without losing yourself. Real strength lies in choosing yourself without guilt. It's knowing that saying no to one thing often means saying yes to something better: your health, your growth, your happiness. People who truly value you will respect your boundaries. Those who don't were only benefiting from your lack of them. Boundaries may make some uncomfortable at first, especially those who are used to taking more than they give. But that discomfort is temporary, your peace is not. Over time, boundaries filter out the noise and attract the right people, those who see your worth and treat it accordingly. They teach others that access to you is earned through respect, not manipulation or guilt. When you live with clear boundaries, you no longer seek validation from others because your self-respect becomes your foundation. Boundaries are not about pushing the world away. They're about inviting in only what aligns with your values, your purpose, and your peace. Silence can send the wrong message. While staying quiet might feel like the safer choice in uncomfortable situations, it can sometimes become a silent agreement with disrespect. When you choose not to speak up in the face of unfairness, others may mistake your silence for acceptance. They start to believe that their words, their tone, or their actions are tolerable, and slowly, you begin to lose a piece of your self-respect each time you let it slide. Speaking up isn't always about confrontation, it's about clarity. It's about standing for what's right, even when your voice shakes. Many people stay silent because they fear conflict or rejection. They tell themselves it's not worth the fight, or that staying quiet keeps the peace. But the truth is, silence doesn't always bring peace. Sometimes it brings bitterness. Every time you swallow your words, your frustration grows louder inside you. You begin to question your worth, and resentment replaces confidence. Over time, your silence teaches others that they can continue to overstep without consequence, and the longer this continues, the harder it becomes to regain the respect you silently gave away. There is a difference between being calm and being passive. Calmness comes from self-control, passivity comes from fear. Being calm means you choose your words wisely and respond with reason, not emotion. But being passive means you give up your right to be heard. The world needs more calm voices, not silent ones, because silence, when misplaced, allows injustice, disrespect, and manipulation to grow. People must know where you stand. You don't have to shout to be heard, you just need to speak with conviction when something crosses your line. Speaking up is not about proving others wrong. It's about proving to yourself that your voice matters. It's an act of courage and self-worth. When you communicate your boundaries and your feelings honestly, you create awareness. You give others a chance to understand how their actions affect you, and even if they choose not to change, at least you'll know you honored yourself. Respect begins when you decide not to stay silent in moments that challenge your dignity. Your voice has power even when it's soft. A simple, firm sentence like "I don't appreciate that," or "That's not okay with me," can shift the entire dynamic of a relationship. It shows confidence and self-awareness. It tells the world that you know your worth and that disrespect has no place in your presence. Silence may seem peaceful in the moment, but unspoken words eventually become heavy. They turn into stress, regret, and emotional exhaustion. Speaking up doesn't mean creating chaos, it means creating clarity. It means refusing to let others write your story while you stand quietly in the background. The respect you seek begins with the courage to use your voice. Because the truth is, if you don't speak up for yourself, you're teaching others that you don't need to be heard, and that is never the message you want to send. You attract what you believe you deserve. Life has a strange way of mirroring your internal beliefs. The energy you carry, the standards you set, and the value you see in yourself quietly determine the kind of people and experiences that find their way to you. When you doubt your worth, you unconsciously invite situations and relationships that reflect that doubt. But when you truly believe you are deserving of love, respect, and peace, the world begins to rearrange itself around that belief. Everything starts within you. The quality of your life is a direct reflection of the quality of yourself. Worth. Many people search endlessly for validation, hoping someone else will make them feel valuable. They accept less than they deserve because deep down, they don't believe they're worthy of more. This mindset creates a cycle of disappointment the lower your self-worth. The more you tolerate disrespect, and the more you tolerate it, the lower your worth seems to fall. The moment you decide that you are enough exactly as you are, you break that cycle. You stop settling, you stop chasing, you stop trying to convince others of your value because you finally recognize it yourself. Raising your self-worth doesn't happen overnight. It begins with small, intentional choices, saying no when something doesn't feel right, walking away from people who drain you, speaking kindly to yourself, and holding yourself to higher standards. Each decision builds a layer of confidence, and soon your energy starts to shift. You become calmer, stronger, and more focused. That shift is what attracts better opportunities and healthier connections. People who once ignored your boundaries start to notice your strength, and those who can't match your energy naturally fade away. Your self-worth sets the tone for every relationship in your life. When you value yourself, you don't beg for attention, you inspire it. You don't chase love, you attract it. You don't cling to what hurts, you release it with grace. You begin to see that it's not selfish to expect more, it's self-loving. The universe responds to your level of belief. When you act like you deserve good things, life begins to send them your way. Confidence becomes your language, and peace becomes your standard. Believing you deserve better is not arrogance, it's alignment. It's understanding that you are here for a purpose, that your time and energy are precious, and that settling for less dishonors your potential. You don't attract what you wish for or what you want. You attract what you are ready for. And readiness begins with belief. When your heart and mind agree that you are worthy of love, respect, and success, the world has no choice but to reflect that truth back to you. The moment you raise your self-worth, the quality of people, opportunities, and energy around you will rise to meet it, because life always meets you at the level of your belief. Walking away is strength, not weakness. It takes far more courage to step back from chaos than to stay and fight every battle that challenges your pride. Many people confuse silence with surrender, but walking away isn't about giving up, it's about choosing peace over noise, growth over ego, and clarity over conflict. It's about knowing that not every situation deserves your reaction, not every insult deserves your response, and not every argument deserves your presence. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all, and the most powerful move you can make is to walk away. When you walk away, you are not proving that you are better than others. You are proving that you are better than the version of yourself that once needed to be understood by everyone. You begin to realize that peace is worth more than being right. Arguments rarely change people's hearts, and endless explanations often fall on closed ears. But when you protect your peace and remove yourself from negativity, you regain control over your emotions and your direction. The energy you save from unnecessary conflict becomes fuel for your personal growth. You stop wasting time defending your worth and start investing that time into becoming the person you are meant to be. Walking away also teaches others how to treat you. When you stay in situations that disrespect your values, you teach people that your peace is negotiable. But when you walk away with calm confidence, you send a clear message your boundaries are firm, and your self-respect is non-negotiable. True strength lies in restraint, not reaction. Anyone can raise their voice, but not everyone can rise above. The ability to walk away without anger is a sign of emotional maturity, because it means you value your well-being more than your need to win. It takes inner strength to let go of the urge to prove a point. The ego loves to argue, to defend, to be seen as right, but the soul desires harmony, not victory. The moment you choose peace over pride, you start living from a place of power. Walking away doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. It shows that you understand your energy is sacred, and that your time should be spent on growth, not on endless cycles of misunderstanding and negativity. There's a quiet dignity in walking away. You're not running from confrontation, you're running toward peace. You're choosing to protect your heart, your mind, and your future from unnecessary pain. Some people will call it weakness because they mistake reaction for strength, but true power is calm, patient, and self-assured. When you walk away, you don't lose, you win something greater, your peace of mind, your clarity, and your freedom. In a world that glorifies loudness and argument, walking away is a rare act of grace. It's proof that you understand your worth, and that no argument is worth the cost of your inner peace. Be an example of self-respect. The way you treat yourself silently teaches the world how to treat you. Every action, every boundary, and every choice you make sends a message about your worth. When you carry yourself with dignity, when you honor your words and your time, you set a standard that others can't ignore. People don't just listen to what you say about yourself, they watch how you live. If you constantly put yourself last, tolerate disrespect, or accept less than you deserve, you show others that it's acceptable to do the same. But when you hold yourself with quiet confidence and demand nothing less than respect, you naturally inspire others to rise to that level. Self-respect begins with self-awareness. It's knowing who you are and refusing to shrink to fit into places that don't honor you. It's choosing to walk away from situations that threaten your peace rather than begging to be seen. The way you talk to yourself in private reflects in the way you behave in public. If your inner voice is filled with doubt and criticism, your energy will attract people who feed that negativity. But when your thoughts are grounded in self-love, gratitude, and confidence, you attract relationships and opportunities that align with your value. You don't have to announce your worth, your behavior will do it for you. Being an example of self-respect doesn't mean being arrogant or cold. It means being kind but firm, compassionate but clear. It's about finding the balance between empathy and boundaries. You can love deeply and still demand honesty. You can help others and still protect your energy. The world often tries to convince you that saying no makes you selfish, but in truth, it's one of the highest forms of self-respect. Saying no to what doesn't serve you creates space for what truly fulfills you. And when people see that you value yourself enough to choose peace over pressure, they learn to treat you with that same care. The strongest people are not the ones who shout for respect, they are the ones who embody it. They show up with integrity, stay consistent with their values, and never compromise their principles for approval. Every time you choose to act with honesty, keep a promise, or hold your ground, you're building a reputation rooted in respect. Over time, that consistency shapes how the world sees you. People will either respect your boundaries or remove themselves from your life. Both outcomes are victories. Self-respect is magnetic. It doesn't demand attention, it commands it. When you live with respect for yourself, you become an example for others to follow. You show that confidence doesn't need noise and worth doesn't need validation. You teach people that kindness has limits, patience has strength, and love begins within. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every connection in your life. When you become an example of self-respect, you no longer chase acceptance, you simply attract it by being true to who you are. So, remember this, the world is always watching how you treat yourself before it decides how to treat you. When you choose respect over approval, peace over chaos, and self-worth over compromise, You send a powerful message without saying a word. Be the example. Live your worth. Because the moment you start honoring yourself, you teach everyone around you exactly how you deserve to be treated with respect, value, and dignity.